The Russians are in confusion. The war has come to their cave. The armed forces of Ukraine are operating in the Kursk region, and they are not going to leave, but on the contrary, they are capturing more and more settlements. And they even create their own commandants' offices. On Solovyov's broadcast, Shakhnazarov whined that Russia can lose, and the never-drying Gurulev revealed a state secret about how it's easy to get to Moscow from Lgov by car and no one will stop you. Putin is freaking out and demands to skin the generals responsible for the failure in the Kursk direction. The West is closely watching the progress of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and nodding approvingly. Media reports that US President Biden is open to transferring long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine, which can be launched from F-16s provided to Kyiv. The Pentagon is already working on the technical details of this issue. A few days earlier, US Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal, who visited Kyiv, admired the offensive at Kursk and suggested that Ukraine increase its combat aircraft fleet with veteran pilots with flight certificates. This means that a fundamental decision has been made, and they will no longer mess with Putin's regime. Probably, quite soon, the veteran flying elite will enter the battle and help the Ukrainian armed forces kick the ass of the Russian cockroaches that continue to crawl in different directions. On Friday night it was loud in Kerch, but this was not enough. It looks like the next knockout blow for the Kremlin will be a blow to Crimea. This may be related to the message why the United States does not allow ATACMS to be attacked in the Kursk region. The US takes this position not because of the risk of escalation, but because it has a limited number of long-range ATACMS missiles. According to Washington, it would be more expedient to use the provided missiles for further attacks on occupied Crimea. It's time to take the peninsula away from Putin, depriving him of his main geopolitical conquest. The cards that the bald strategist tried to play quickly lose their trump suit. Iran still won't attack Israel, and Trump won't come to his senses after Biden's castling with Kamala Harris. During an unsuccessful 2-hour interview with Musk, Trump again talked about how he wanted to get along with Putin, and this contrasted sharply with Biden's intention to clean up after himself, the bald misunderstanding that was sparked by imagining himself the master of the European gateway. British ministers are already holding consultations on the use of Storm Shadow cruise missiles by the Ukrainian Armed Forces to launch strikes on Russian territory. The mutation of the Kursk region into the People's Republic showed the Allies not only the weakness of the Kiev army, which runs and surrenders, but also blurred the network of red lines carefully drawn by the Kremlin. Putin can only wink at Wen Kim, promising to deepen relations between the arseholes. The Olympics in Paris are over. The French failed to plant a big pig. At a military base in Germany, it was also not possible to poison the water. But a good shadow has been cast on Zelensky and Zaluzny, who, it seems, were indirectly involved in the bombing of the Nord Stream gas pipelines. But this is not certain. This still needs to be proven. In the United States, a search was conducted at the home of Channel One propagandist Dmitry Simes, suspecting him of having too close ties with Moscow. So close that they look like treason for good money. And now such open political prostitution is fraught with a prison sentence for Simes. True, he carefully left the country and stated that he did not know what exactly they were looking for in his mansion. "I didn't see the warrant. I have not been contacted by law enforcement or anyone else," Simes said. But Patrushev Sr., appointed chairman of the Maritime Collegium, whined about the West's attempts to deprive Russia of access to the Baltic Sea, which is already called the NATO Lake. The former commander-in-chief of the Alliance Armed Forces in Europe, Admiral James Stavridis, said in May 24 that NATO wants to use the Baltic Sea in the event of a war with Russia. And then the little girl squealed that she was pinched and pinched. True, deep organisms have no time for Baltic problems. Their rations in the zone are about to become more expensive. Manufacturers promised retailers to raise purchase prices for products by up to 40%. This will happen in August-September. Propagandists are broadcasting, "Don't panic, everything is going according to plan." On August 19, the cave will enter the 33rd year of Christ, so the sausage will continue right up to Golgotha. Both black swans at the Ozero cooperative and unexpected referendums in the Kursk and Belgorod regions are possible. Crimea may dry up and fall off. Tired of political escalation? Focus on your personal life, snitch on your neighbor, and get ready for the worst-case scenario. The cave will be crucified, and no one promises resurrection.